Let's talk about Death Becomes Her. So this was the third show that I saw on my recent trip to New York, and this was the one I was looking forward to the most because I had just been seeing a lot on social media about it. I had seen a lot of slime tutorials, and I unfortunately did not get to see Megan Hilty. I was actually a few weeks ago at a revolving sushi restaurant, and I got the email that Megan was going to be out on my show date, and I was really disappointed, but I completely understand vocal health and needing that time to heal. So I had pretty much all of the people I wanted to see were there. So Jennifer was on, Christopher Zieber was on, Michelle Williams was on, and I had Dee as my understudy. I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce her last name, but Dee is the understudy for Madeline. And I was really excited that she was the understudy I got to see because I saw her as Celine Dion in Titanic last year, and I thought she was hilarious. Fabulous voice, but also just like the physical comedy that she has, and improv, because there's a little bit of an element of improv in Death Becomes Her. Not a ton, but a little bit. And I also really like that she's very tall, so the height difference between her and Jennifer Samard, I enjoyed that. But this show is just so campy and so fun. I have listened to the cast recording a lot. I listened to it a lot before going, so I pretty much knew most of the songs. I knew what happened, but it was still so cool to see I loved the glitz and glam. The other two shows I saw on this trip were Cabaret and Sunset Boulevard, so in terms of set and costumes, particularly for Sunset, there wasn't as much going on, which I think really worked for those productions, but it was fun to have glitzy outfits, particularly Michelle Williams's costumes as Viola. Just gorgeous. She just appears in these gorgeous gowns and belts her face off, and then she leaves again. I love that. And I think the thing that really, really stands out about Death Becomes Her is how they did the stunts, because obviously spoilers, this whole video is spoilers. If you've seen the movie Death Becomes Her with Meryl Streep and Goldie Hawn, you know that Madeline falls down the stairs, which who pushes her down the stairs is different in this version, and ends up twisting her neck, and then she ends up shooting Helen in the stomach. So both of them have their injuries, but how they did the injuries, first of all, just when Helen pushes Madeline down the stairs, they use a stunt double, and it's very, very obvious that it's a stunt double, but I think it really works. You see they're fighting, and they go off stage for a second, and they come back, and just the whole fall down the stairs sequence is incredible. Like, just the stunt performer who's doing that, the sheer athleticism and control, and also grace, like, for that is amazing. But I think another stunt double moment that I loved, that I think was really, really well done, is a little bit after that scene where Madeline is sitting on the couch, and then Helen hits her in the head with a shovel, and her head falls off, and then you see, just neck, and then it's just gone, her head's just gone, and then they roll in Madeline on a cart, and you see her head separately. So I thought that was just a really, really cool use of stunt doubles. But this show was just so fun. I hope that it lives a long life. I've seen a lot of people talking about how they think former Glendas should play Madeline and former Elphaba should play Helen, and I absolutely agree with that. I think there's a lot of people that would really, really do well in these roles, so I hope that it lives a long life on Broadway and touring. But it's just a good time if you want to see the glitz and the glam, and it's hilarious if you want a lot of laughs, but with also sentimentality in there. I absolutely love Death Becomes Her.